AITA for refusing to give up my honeymoon suite to my sister and her newborn? I, 29M wife, 28F, and I recently got married and booked a dream honeymoon at a beautiful resort. We splurged on the honeymoon suite. It's a once-in-a-lifetime trip. A week before we left, my sister, 31F, had an emergency C-section. Mom called asking if we could downgrade our room so my sister, her husband, and their newborn could have our suite. They didn't plan a baby moon and now want a last-minute vacation to recover. I said absolutely not. We paid a fortune for this experience. My mom blew up, calling me selfish. My sister sent crying emojis, saying she's exhausted and could really use the peace. My dad says we should do the right thing and let them have it since we can honeymoon anytime. I feel bad she had a tough birth, but we worked hard for this trip. My wife says standing firm is the right call, but now half the family isn't speaking to us. AITAH. AITAH for pointing out to my girlfriend that what she did to me would be considered SA if the roles were reversed. My girlfriend had been sleeping over at my place and grinded on my morning wood until I orgasmed while I was still asleep. After I woke up and found my underwear was all sticky, she nonchalantly told me about what had happened. I was a bit disturbed by this and pointed out to her that I was unable to give consent since I was asleep and that what she did to me is considered SA. She then asked me if it felt bad, to which I replied that I obviously didn't realize anything was happening since I wasn't even conscious. She responded by saying that since I orgasmed, it means that my body liked it, so it's fine and that nothing bad had happened. That's when I told her to imagine the roles being reversed and that the things she is saying is stuff that's commonly said by predators. She got defensive, said it's different, accused me of overreacting and making her feel guilty for something that's not a big deal, and asked if it's as bad as I say it is, wouldn't I want to break up over it? I told her that I don't want to break up, after which point she declared the argument to be over and to let it rest. So, am I overreacting? I still think that I'm in the right and that my logic is correct, but it's true that I subjectively don't feel bad about what happened or wouldn't have minded her doing that to me while I was awake, or if she had asked me beforehand. However, I objectively know that SA is a big thing, and if a female friend had told me about their BF doing that to her, I would be shocked and probably advise her to leave. So I'm curious what the people on this subreddit think about this. AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she tried to charge me for being a bridesmaid. I have always been close to my sister Lily, but our relationship has been rocky lately. A couple of months ago, Lily asked me to be a bridesmaid at her wedding, which I was excited about. I've always supported her, and I thought this would be a special moment. But then, she gave me the list of requirements for the bridesmaids. The dress was over $300, and she said we needed to pay for our own hair, makeup, and even accessories. I wasn't thrilled about the price, but thought it was part of the deal, and I'd find a way to make it work. However, a few weeks ago, she called me and said I also needed to pay for a bridesmaid fee, $150 to cover her costs for the bachelorette party, decorations, and just to help out. I was shocked. I asked if that was really a thing, and she said, well, everyone else is chipping in. I told her I couldn't afford it and that it felt wrong to charge me to be a part of her wedding. She got angry, saying I was being selfish and ruining her special day. After thinking about it, I realized I just couldn't do it. I told her I wouldn't be attending the wedding if that was the case. She went silent, and now the rest of the family's mad at me, calling me petty and saying I should just suck it up. ITA for refusing to attend and be charged to be a bridesmaid. AITA for not wanting to pay for my girlfriend's friend's meal. So, I, 28M, girlfriend, 27F, and I went out to dinner last night. It was supposed to be just us, but last minute, she asked if her friend, let's call her Sarah, could join. I said sure, no problem. Dinner was nice, we all had a good time, and when the bill came, I put down my card to cover my girlfriend and me. But then Sarah just sat there, not reaching for her wallet. My girlfriend looked at me and casually said, "Oh, babe, can you cover Sarah's too?" I was caught off guard. Sarah had ordered a ton, appetizers, drinks, dessert, and her portion was almost as much as ours combined. I hesitated and said, I wasn't really planning on that. My girlfriend looked embarrassed and mumbled, "It's just easier if you do." Sarah stayed quiet but also didn't offer to pay for herself. I ended up paying because I didn't want to cause a scene, but I was annoyed. Later, I told my girlfriend that I didn't appreciate being put on the spot like that. She got defensive, saying I was being stingy and that it's just one meal. I argued that it wasn't about the money. It was about being expected to pay without being asked beforehand. Now she's upset, and I feel like I might have overreacted. AITA? AITAH for telling my brother. He's not welcome at my wedding after what he did. I, 29M, am getting married in 2 months to my fiancée, 27F, and we've been planning this day for over a year. My younger brother, 26M, and I have always had a strained relationship. He's the golden child in our family, and our parents have always excused his behavior, no matter how bad it was. Last year at my engagement party, he got wasted and made an announcement in front of everyone, saying he didn't approve of my marriage because my fiancée is too controlling. Translation, she calls him out when he acts entitled. He then proceeded to propose to his girlfriend on the spot, stealing the moment entirely. My fiancée was on the verge of tears. I was furious and told him he was out of line, but my parents begged me to let it go because he was just drunk and excited. I reluctantly moved on for the sake of keeping peace. Fast forward to last week, he calls me drunk again and says, "Hey, I have an idea. What if I make a funny speech at your wedding? Like just roast you a little?" I told him absolutely not and that I didn't trust him to behave. He got mad and said I was taking things too seriously, so I finally told him, he's not invited. I can't risk him ruining my wedding like he did our engagement party. My parents flipped out, saying I was being cruel and that family forgives. Now I have relatives messaging me, telling me I should just give him another chance. AITAH for standing my ground. AITA for refusing to let my friends put their bags under my name because they smoked weed? I'm the only one who paid for checked baggage because I tend to shop a lot, and I prefer not to be weighed down by extra bags. My friends kept shopping until they had more than they could carry, and then asked if they could put their bags under my name. I said no because I'm a bit concerned about the risks involved, especially since 2 of them smoked weed. Maybe they won't bring back anything, but I just met this one friend. I don't want to risk anything. I'm not being stingy, but I just don't want to put myself in a potentially compromising situation. Now they're upset with me for saying no. Am I in the wrong for wanting to avoid any issues? AITAH for refusing to let my parents use my college fund for my brother's wedding? I, 18M, just turned 18 and recently got accepted into my dream university. My grandparents set up a college fund for me when I was born, and it has enough to cover most of my tuition. My parents have always known about this fund, and I've been planning my education around it. A few weeks ago, my older brother, 25M, announced that he's getting married. My parents are paying for most of the wedding, but recently told me that they need to borrow from my college fund to cover extra costs. I was shocked and told them no, since that money was meant for my education. They argued that I could just take out student loans and that family comes first. My brother and his fiancée also called me selfish, saying I should help out since they want a big wedding. I refused again. Now my parents are saying they're disappointed in me, and my brother isn't speaking to me. AITAH for refusing to give up my college fund? AITAH for siding with my brother-in-law and letting him stay at mine after how he behaved with my father. My father is not a nice man to his family. The only reason I stay in his life is because of my mother. My sister has been dating this guy for around 2 years. A really nice, quiet guy. He's great with her son, etc. Anyway, there was a family gathering, and my father had a bit of an issue with my sister's son, tugged his arm and said something. My brother-in-law went over and brought the boy back over with him. I noticed he was checking his arm. He was asking questions, it'd say, and made him laugh. Really nice. When the extended family had gone, my brother-in-law went over to my father and got in his face. He didn't touch him, but even I could feel the tension. He said something along the lines of, "If you do that again to the little lad, you'll," etc. My father was an utter coward. It was nice to see. My sister told her boyfriend to leave their house that evening. I said he could stay in my spare room. My sister is unhappy for me letting him stay. I told her she was ungrateful. I said he did the right thing, and she should be thanking him. AITAH for siding with him and especially for letting him stay.